Did Superman live up to the hype, or is the new DCU doomed? Well, I just came back from seeing Superman, and I can say that James Gunn has continued his streak of banger superhero projects. But I will say this movie is not without its faults, but not gonna lie, the majority of this review is gonna just be glazing. Just to start with the best part of the movie, its characters. David Cornsweet absolutely embodies every part of Superman's character perfectly, but I also can't look over Rachel Brosnahan as Lois. I thought she did a great job. However, I have to give most outstanding performance to Nicholas Hoult as professional hater Lex Luthor. I genuinely hated hearing any word exit this man's mouth throughout the movie, and that's how you know he played an incredible villain. But outside of that, I will say a surprise standout to me was Mr. Terrific. I'd never really heard of this character before, but he was one of my favorites in this movie. And isn't that convenient? Gotta say though, I also liked both Jimmy and Guy Gardner in this movie. I do wish Jimmy got to interact with Clark more though, because they really only got one scene together. In general, I would really like to see Clark, Lois, and Jimmy work together more, kind of like how they did in My Adventures with Superman, because I really like that dynamic, but I understand they were focused on other things in this movie. Honestly, the only characters I didn't really connect with in this movie were the two villains that worked under Lex. They just kind of existed for me, and I really don't understand why Hawkgirl was even in this movie. Besides one thing in the end, she kind of did absolutely nothing throughout the movie. But just to move on to some of the plot points, I really liked how Superman faced real challenges throughout this movie that took him until the end to fully overcome, and I feel like that's what made things throughout this movie a lot more interesting, versus him just being this unstoppable force he's often depicted as. Also, just gonna shout out the best scene in the whole movie being the scene where Clark talks to his dad. You'll understand why it's so good if you watch the movie, and that scene genuinely made me wish there were more scenes like that in the movie. But I think this movie did a fantastic job not only setting up this new Superman, but also setting up the DCU. Superman gets a solid 8.5 out of 10.